everyone. We have survived the week. I hope you all are having a good day. But yeah, I just got off of work and I decided to come to this platform and discuss some of the thoughts that I've been having these past couple of days. So I wanted to basically talk about everything that's going on. A lot of the vlogs that I've been seeing lately, they pretty much validate that we are all in a collective consciousness of everything we've been told has been a lie. We all are seeing, not that they've been hiding it from us, but we all are seeing that our governments are evil. And this is not just the US, this is across the world. So what I did notice though is a lot of people have been reacting to it differently. And I am not a psychologist. In fact, I am an engineer. But I remember my 10th grade year, over the summer, I took a class called AP Psychology. And one thing in particular that stuck with me from that class was the 7 stages of grief. And I realized the other day that Americans are currently going through a grieving process. We are grieving a life that we used to believe. And we see that it no longer exists, if it did exist. So the issue with this grief and the fact that we are so divided and there's no community anymore is we're all experiencing the different levels of grief at different times. And I think because of this, that is why we have not come together yet. Now, there are some people who are protesting and doing what they need to do, which is great. However, there are other people who are kind of minding their business, or maybe at like, I don't know, I don't want to make excuses for them, but they seem to, some of them accept what's going on, maybe just be numb by everything. But I think all in all, we're also just tired. We're very distracted, of course. We just can't put our phones down. And with the distraction from our devices, the disconnectedness within our societies, and just us not being on the same page, this is causing us to remain under the spell and in the current situation that we're experiencing. So back to the 7 stages of grief. I don't think we all experience all 7, but based on our different experiences and thought processes, we are experiencing some of them. So I think I've gone through shock, which is number 1, a little bit of denial, which is number 2, anger, of course. I was stuck in this stage for a long time, and depression. Now, depression was pretty much a theme throughout my 20s. And unfortunately, and I'm ashamed to admit this, I think that I am at number 7, which is acceptance and hope. Now, I don't know where the hope is coming from, because we're obviously not doing anything, but I think I'm still hopeful that one day we will get it together, and that we will come together and pretty much stand against the evil forces that are against us. But until we actually realize that we can do something about it, because we have strength in numbers, you know, I guess we'll just stay in our situation. But I am still hopeful that that's going to happen one day. All right, so the shock. Unfortunately, I experienced this shock when I was 23 years old. And this was in 2018 when I first graduated college. My shock initially came from me graduating from school and accumulating over $100,000 in student loan debt. Now, when you first enter the workforce, you obviously have to start at a starting salary. And unfortunately, I took out loans with the predatory lender, Sallie Mae, which I think a lot of minorities have. And they had my loan payments at $1,400 a month, which was crazy, because how can someone making $50K pay for $1,400 a month loan payment and a possibly $1,000 and up payment in rent alone, and that's not including other expenses as a young adult. So because of this high loan payment, I had to move in with my mother until the age of 28. Yes. So I initially was shocked because I called Sallie Mae and I told them that I couldn't afford the payments, and they said that according to my earning salary, I could. That's crazy, right? Because anybody with bills know that you can't. So, like I said, this occurred when I was 23, and at the time I didn't have anybody to talk to because they weren't making videos about the messed up system, because they were still telling people to go to college and that was the best thing to do. Okay, so the denial part, I guess, came with me still rewarding myself. So of course, when you graduate from school, you're like, you know, I have my first job and I want to treat myself. So I did go on trips, annual trips, and I think that also was just me being financially ignorant. So I know a lot of people are going to like come for me like, yeah, you should have like used that time to save and pay off loans. I did save. I saved $10,000. However, I used that $10,000 to move out of my mother's house at the age of late 28, 29 to get my first apartment in my city. So around this time, I think I was able to refinance my loans down to $825 payments. And it was still a struggle. I was making a little bit more, but as you know, an $825 payment is equivalent to some people's rent. And I also had to pay a rent by myself, which with the utilities and stuff went up to like $1,500. So of course this was a lot, and my savings account was dwindling down. So at the age of 29, I had to move in with my father, and 2 years later I'm still there. So that shock has happened to me a long time ago. The other day I saw a video that was pretty much highlighting the theme of anger. The title of the video was called Americans Are P. And it's crazy because I think I went through this anger along with the shock a long time ago. Now, the rebellious anger happened for me last year in the fall of 2025. So I was coming home from my seasonal position, and I remember just kind of like not having a breakdown or meltdown, but yeah, pretty much a meltdown. We can call it that. So I was driving, I recorded myself, and it was pretty much on the same lines of, what the heck are we doing? Why are we letting the system get away with this? Like, they've been getting away with it for a long time, but since they have chosen not to hide it from us anymore, why aren't we doing anything about it? So yes, I was very angry in that clip. But it's crazy because when I saw the video of someone else with the same theme, I commented, and it was more on the lines of acceptance. Now, that sounds horrible because I'm not accepting the fact that this is going to be the new lifestyle for us. Just accepting being bullied. However, this has always been our lifestyle. It's just since it's unveiled to us, life has become a little bit more non-enjoyable and a little bit more depressing for most of us. But yeah, so I had commented, and basically it was at the stage of acceptance and I guess hope. I am hopeful that one day we will be able to have community again, and that's the only way we're going to be able to come together. But until then, we are experiencing the different stages of grief at different times, which is making it harder for us to come together because some of us are waking up faster than others. Okay, so I've touched that I went through the shock, denial, anger, depression, and I'm now at the acceptance. I think in a lot of instances, some people who are in denial are the conservative supporters.
Correction.
So
MAGA supporters.
I have a close relative who still supports the Orange Man, and he brought up something the other day about if we didn't go to war, then he would have went down in history as one of the greatest presidents to ever exist. I'm not going to touch on that because when that was brought up to me, I did not entertain that statement. I decided not to entertain it. But this is and see, I don't know if you saw that, but my eye has been jumping the past couple of days, maybe like a week now. Yeah, so these people are in denial. Like, how can you still support someone who's shown you that they do not care about anybody but the elite class? All right, going into the bargaining. These are the people who are still working like slaves. They realize that the cost of living has gone up. So what do? They decided to get an additional stream of income. Now, this is everyone. I am guilty of doing the same thing. But yeah, we're just all in survival mode. So can you blame us? But the bargaining part of the grief is pretty much an attempt to control the narrative. So yes, we are drowning, but I guess we figure that if we get more money. So my phone ran out of space earlier and decided to cut off. I think it was very convenient because I started touching on some very sensitive topics, and I am upset that it cut off. But basically, I was saying that people are working harder trying to control what's going on because, of course, if we have a better income, then maybe we can have a better lifestyle and possibly get to that American dream that we were all once promised if we worked hard enough. Now, I think most of us have woken up to the fact that that's only for a certain few lucky individuals who make it, but a majority of us won't make it. So yeah, I was making that point earlier, and a whole bunch of things. But I just wanted to say that I am so proud of the people who have been going and just showing up to the No Kings protest. Like I said, I still have hope that we all will get there. It's just, I think that Black people are tired because we've been experiencing this for the longest time. So maybe we'll all get on the same page of anger, because that's the only way we're all going to come together and do what needs to be done, is if most of us start experiencing anger again. So yeah, but for now, I think it's safe to say that we're handling grief differently, as everyone does. And the next time you decide to get mad, just remember that maybe someone has already gone through that grieving stage. Like I have. I've been angry for a long time. Yeah, so those were my thoughts for today. Let me know if you guys feel that I'm onto something, and if you agree that America is going through a grieving period right now. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and a subscribe. I am currently still trying to find my niche with this channel, so there are a lot of other things that I have to offer, but I will be uploading weekly real discussion videos. So yes, please support, and I would love and hope to see you all next week in the next discussion. Take care.